Hello humans, today I'm going to teach you about comparison operators, nesting, and compound conditions. All of these things increase the functionality of if statements, so let's begin with comparison operators. Comparison operators are the symbols that we use to compare two things. We already know one of these, the double equal sign. Let's set up an if statement. With this, if A is equal to B, Python will spit out this ran. If our condition fails, meaning A is not equal to B, then the else block will run, and Python will warn us that the if statement is false. If we run this, we see that our if statement isn't running, and that's because A is not equal to B. 5 does not equal 3. If we change our condition to A exclamation point equals sign B, then our condition becomes if A is not equal to B. When A and B are different, our condition will be true. When we run this, we see this ran print out. Because A and B are not equal to each other, our if statement's condition is met, and the code in the if block runs. Let's say we wanted to buy a car. I'll make money equal to $1,000 and car cost equal to $500. I can say if money is greater than car cost, print I can buy this car. Else, print you need plus the string equivalent of car cost minus money plus more dollars. This will tell us if we can afford the car. If we can't afford it, then Python will tell us how much more money we need. Running this, we see that we can afford a $500 car since we have $1,000. The amount of money we have is greater than the cost of the car, so our if statement's condition is met. Let's say we want a $100,000 car. Running this, we see that we need $99,000 more dollars. Since money is not greater than the cost of the car, our if statement's condition is not met, and our else block runs. But what if I wanted a $1,000 car? Running this, we see that we can't afford it. We need 0 more dollars. Well, that doesn't make sense, because technically we can afford it. How do we fix this? We need to change our condition. Right now it fails because 1,000 is not greater than 1,000. We need to change our condition to if money is greater than or equal to car cost, then we can buy the car. Running this, we can see that we can afford the car, although if buying a car leaves you with $0 in your bank account, you might not want to buy it. Anyway, this is going to be a long video, so I'll leave you with some examples of less than and less than or equal to. They work as you'd expect, but feel free to pause the video if you want to double check yourself. Extending off this example, what if we wanted to do something special if we can afford the car and it costs more than $10,000? Now I have two conditions that need to be met at the same time. One solution to this would be to nest an if statement. That means we are going to put an if statement inside another if statement. Below our print statement that tells us that we can buy the car, I'm going to make another if statement. If car cost is greater than $10,000, let's print that this car costs more than $10,000. Let's change money to $100,000 and run this a few times to check out how this works. Since we have more money than the cost of the car, we are told that we can afford it. We don't see that this car costs more than $10,000 because car cost is only $1,000. If we change car cost to $12,000 and run our code again, we see that we can afford this car and that it costs over $10,000. Both our if statements are met, so we can see both print statements run. Here is the tricky part. Let's change money to $1,000. Running this, we see that we don't have enough money to buy the car. Notice that car cost is still greater than $10,000 though, but we didn't get a message that tells us that the car costs more than 10 grand. Why is that? It's because our second if statement is nested within the first. Since our first if statement failed to run, everything within it gets skipped, including other if statements. If we want our second if statement to run, we have to ensure that the if statement it is within runs as well. Nesting isn't always the right solution when you have multiple conditions that need to be met. What if we had 5 conditions that needed to be met? Nesting 5 if statements within each other would be messy and a lot of typing. Instead, we can combine multiple conditions into one if statement. I'm going to delete "I can buy this car" for now, just so we can focus on our conditions. I'm going to change our first print statement to "I can afford an expensive car." Now my mission is to combine my two conditions. I want to make sure I have enough money to buy the car, and I want to check that the car is more than $10,000. Well, Python makes this pretty easy on us. I'm going to change my first condition to if money is greater than or equal to car cost, and car cost is greater than $10,000. I can now delete my nested if statement and move my print statement into a proper indentation level. Our code effectively does the same thing now. We simply just rewrote what we did in a different way. The AND keyword specifies that both conditions need to be true in order for the overall if statement to be true. Since this video is already longer than I want, I'll let you guys run this on your own, since effectively there's nothing new here. The last thing we'll go over is the OR keyword. This is another way to join conditions. While the AND keyword says that both conditions must be true for the if statement to run, the OR keyword says that one or the other condition must be true in order for the if statement to run. However, if both conditions are true, then the if statement will still evaluate the true. So OR breaks down to one or the other, or both. Let's demonstrate that. I'll make two variables, community college accepted, set to false, and state college accepted, set to false. Then I'll say if community college accepted equals true, or state college accepted equals true, then I'll print that I'm going to college. In this example, if either a state college or a community college accepts our application, that means we're going to college. We don't need both colleges to accept us, we just need one. If I set community to true and run our code, we see that we're going to college. If I make that false and set state to true, then I'll see that we're going to college. Lastly, I'll set both to true and we are still going to college. As long as at least one college accepts me, I'm going to college. If another one happens to accept me, great, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm going to college either way. Today, we went over comparison operators, nesting if statements, compound conditions, and the keywords and OR in Python. A big thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. Comment below with suggestions for future videos, and I will see you in the next one.